and welcome to LaRosa Reads. I'm Denise LaRosa, and today I am sharing my favorite reads of the first quarter of 2023. I don't know why I'm saying it with so much sass, but let's talk books. There's just something about Prince that just makes me feel alive, although he's no longer with us. So, these are my favorite videos to make because I love reflecting upon my reading experiences by the quarter. And this is the first quarter of 2023, and I have had a phenomenal reading experience. January was aight, and then February was lit, if you get what I'm saying. I'm so corny. And then March just kept on delivering for me, baby. So I'm going to share with you my top 5 favorite reads of the first quarter of 2023. And I must squeeze in this honorable mention, a number 6, because it was just too good to not lift up in this video. So here's my honorable mention. Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson was just amazing. This book was collecting dust on my shelves, and after having it for over a year, I decided to pick it up thanks to Diverse Spine's Spine of the Month, which was Black Cake in February. In January, my bad. And it was absolutely amazing. The pacing was great. I mean, this book kept me fully engaged. We're dealing with a woman, an older Black woman, a West Indian woman that ended up passing away. She leaves behind 2 children, Benny and Byron, who have not been in the best space as far as their relationship is concerned at the time of their mother's death. And she has her lawyer meet with Byron and Benny after she passes and shares an audio recording of her sharing some really surprising truths about her life and her husband's life. And it just opens up so many astonishing surprises for her children and just leads them to reconnecting as well as connecting with people who they didn't even know existed. It is truly one of those generational dramas that just delivers as far as entertaining you, keeping you turning that page. It was a good time. So Black Cake is my honorable mention for the first quarter of 2023. Coming in at number 5 for my favorite read of the first quarter is Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan. This book is just delightful and so cozy. Any book about books and bookstores just really warms my heart before I even open the book. And this book delivered in so many ways. Olive knew that this book would make me smile, and it truly, truly did. So Clay Jannon, our protagonist, is down on his luck. He was working for this company that unfortunately felt the brunt of the economic crisis of the mid-2000s, and so he was therefore laid off. The business just shut down, and so he's looking for a job and happens upon a job as a bookseller at Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore. This bookstore is quirky. There's no customers hardly at all. And it's really making him curious to learn more about the history of this bookstore and the bookstore owner. What happens after that is just really wild and fun. So I don't want to tell you too much about it other than you go on this journey that is surprising yet refreshing. Mr. Penumbra is a fantastic character. The side characters are interesting and intriguing. And perhaps the most intriguing part of this book for me, this experience was really neat reading it in 2023, whenever it was written in 2012, during the time when ebooks and e-readers were thought to be making hard copies obsolete. Print copies of books were being questioned, right? Are they going to survive now that we're in this age of technology? And we now know that, yes, they're doing just fine. But at the time this book was written, we didn't know what was going to happen. And so you've got a little bit of Google stuff happening, some science fiction happening here. It was just a lot going on, but in a good way. So Mr. Penumbra's Bookstore was a great read for me in the first quarter. And then there was my love bug, Elizabeth Acevedo, with her first novel, The Poet X. Xiomara is the protagonist in this book. She is a young Latina woman living in New York, and she is a twin. Her twin brother and her are just, the two of them are really trying to find their way. This is a coming of age book, and their parents really are like those helicopter parents, super protective, super strict. And for reasons, they came to parenthood at an older age in life. They didn't think they were going to be able to have children. And so these are their miracle children. And because of that, they feel like they really need to protect them and shield them from the world. And they are Catholics and really try to pour that Catholic beliefs and value systems in their children. And Xiomara is at an age where she's pushing back and she wants to rebel. And that is something that is universal, that all of us can relate to in some way, shape, or form. Being a teenager and trying to figure out your own life out and identity outside of your parents or your family. And so the way that Elizabeth Acevedo uses verse to express those raw emotions, that teenage angst, is just brilliantly done, beautifully done, so poignant, so expressive, and I wouldn't expect anything less from her. And thank you to Bonnie from Books with Bonnie for suggesting and recommending this book to me. It's one that I've had on my TBR forever, and my goodness, was it worth the wait. Thank you, thank you. And then we have, coming in at number 3, my first 5-star read of the year, Pratt and Protest by Nikki Payne. I love this book. Love, love, love. The author is amazing. The book is amazing. It is an adaptation, a retelling of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, and it is modernized, sexualized, and sanitized. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff at this point. Anywho, in all seriousness, this book was delightful. We have this spicy romance between an Asian American man by the name of Darcy and a Black woman by the name of what appears to be Liza, but she pronounces it Lisa, spelled Liza. Whatevs. She can do whatever she wants because she's that fabulous. And he is this corporate CEO looking to help his parents' company continue to thrive. He's been thrown into this position of CEO after the tragic and traumatic deaths of his parents and his older brother in a car accident. And so he's stumbling up on this position and decides to open up like this strip mall or something in this inner city neighborhood where Lisa lives. She ain't having it. She's the DJ that gives a jam and uses her platform to protest this gentrification of their neighborhood. So it's kind of an enemies to lovers, but I don't know if I'd say that, y'all, because the sparks fly as soon as they meet. There's sexual tension there, and while they're trying to act like they hate each other, they know they're digging each other, so it just takes off from there. The side characters were so fun. I was surprised at the humor in this book. I thought it was going to take on a more serious tone because it does cover and deal with transracial adoption, gentrification, mental health, and mental illness. But Nikki Payne does this beautiful job of holding on to those essential elements of Pride and Prejudice while interweaving some new pieces to it that make this book so delicious. It is so good, and it's my number 3 favorite read of the first quarter. My number 2 favorite read of the first quarter is The Davenports. That is just dazzling to me. The cover is dazzling. The characters are dazzling. Crystal Marquis, you are amazing. And this book is going to become a series. This is the first book in the series. I am loving everything about it. I have never watched Bridgerton, but this gives me like a PG-13 vibe of Bridgerton. And we have young romance, young coming of age. We have drama. We have love triangles. We have family drama. We have love drama. We have sibling drama. Drama, 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 drama. And did I say drama? This book just keeps on giving. The pacing was just so smart and smooth, and you just continue to be engaged. It was just so cleverly written and beautifully written. I loved everything about it. These characters were great. We're following about 5 characters, but all of the characters, including those 5 characters we follow and the side characters, come together in a cohesive way to make this book the rich reading experience it is. I loved it, and I cannot wait for you to pick it up and tell me what you think. Dun 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 dun. Coming in at number 1, numero uno, baby, for my favorite read of the first quarter in 2023 is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. This is a classic that I just should have read a long time ago, but guess what? Better late than never, y'all. So with Kindred, we have the brilliant, ahead of her time, legendary Octavia E. Butler at her finest. It is her first novel. This science fiction novel is groundbreaking in so many ways. Our main character, Dana, is a Black woman with the story taking place in the 1970s. This Black woman, Dana, is married to a white man, Kevin, and it's around 1976. They're moving into this new home together, and while Dana is putting away books in their new home library, she starts to feel dizzy. She's losing her grounding. Oh! And then she passes out. And when she arises and awakens, she ends up being enslaved and living in the 1800s, where she continues to cross paths with this young white boy by the name of Rufus. And it is Rufus that keeps luring her back in time. So this time travel is just exquisitely done. So well done. It's seamless. I don't feel like I'm being jerked around as a reader. I feel like I'm on this journey with her, and there's this added connection, added layer of this young white boy being connected to Dana's ancestors. And she has to figure out, how are they connected? Why is it this boy that keeps bringing her back in time? What is happening? And boy, do you find out what happens. If this book hasn't been on your radar, you need to put it on your radar right now. Kindred is a winner. So there you have it, my friends. Those are my favorite reads of the first quarter of 2023. What are your favorite reads of the first quarter? I want to know, because I'm always looking for my next read, and I love you. I want to know what you're up to and what you're into as far as books are concerned. So hop over in the comments and let me know. If you want to know what my favorite reads of 2022 were, check out that playlist that I have for you, and we can just talk it up. And until next time, happy reading. Bye.